Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. It's hard to believe, but another year has passed by very, very quickly. And as most of you know, I always do a collection update for you guys at the end of the year. So here is my 2022 Dragon figure update for you. It's been a pretty good year for collecting. I've picked up a lot of rare figures that I've been wanting for many years, a lot of cyber hobbies and vehicles, especially earlier in the year. Unfortunately, the past few months, it's been very, very sparse for Dragon figure collecting. But like I said, earlier in the year, I picked up a lot of good ones. And I did a head count before I got started. I have 101 Dragon figures right now, which is actually a little bit less than last year. I think I had like 110 or something. Unfortunately, I have been selling quite a few to make room for some other things, especially making room for these vehicles. These take up a lot of space, so I have been selling a good bit, unfortunately. And also, I did want to update you guys. This might be my last collection update in this location. Next year, I'm planning on moving into a new place. So hopefully that'll happen, and if it does, this is all going to change, unfortunately, which is sad because this is a really nice setup here. But yeah, I just wanted to update you guys on that. Wish me luck in that process of trying to buy a new house. But anyway, let's get started now. Enough of me rambling. Let's get started. And I always start down with the US figures, but you know what, this year I'm going to start on the right side. Let's take a look at the Germans first. All right, please ignore the clothes. I didn't get a chance to take those out for the video, but let's start out with this amazing this amazing set. We got Egon Hauk on his motorcycle, and then this year I was finally able to pick up his buddy Gerhard Menz in the sidecar, and this is one of my favorite sets right here. This is absolutely stunning. These two look awesome together on the motorcycle. Truly stunning. All right, still got Arthur Hecht, of course. That is a Holy Grail figure. I don't intend on ever selling him. And then behind him is, I think, Paul is his name, and he comes with the patrol house. And then behind him, this is a new one. That was the Stalingrad standoff set that I got recently. We got Gottfried Fischer in the front. That's one of my favorites. Behind him is Jürgen. And then another new one, Georg Kretzinger. That's a really cool cyber hobby. Very, very hard to find. Okay, up front, Heinz Schmidt, one of my favorites. That's a classic one right there. And behind him, the two-pack Ernst Kalt and Berthold Nass. Those are also classic ones. All right, got Heinrich Zim. Once again, another classic. This is an awesome figure. Remains one of my favorites. Let me get some close-up shots for you guys. Okay, and behind him is Erwin Stangenberg. That's another really cool one. And then I got this one back at the start of the year. I am blanking on his name right now, but that's a really cool one. That's a Gear Plus. Sorry, it's a little bit hard to see back here. I've got these guys crammed together. All right, another really cool cyber hobby. And another cyber hobby behind him, that's Arthur Wall. A flamethrower, that's a really cool one. And then another DAK figure, that's Rolf Seeger. And Marcus Shaper. And Elmo Freytag, that one remains one of my favorites. I really love him. Very difficult to track him down these days. And then another Gear Plus behind him. A sniper. Okay, I was able to squeeze in my Italian figures. Finally, usually I have them stuck down there, but I put them up here for this year. So up front is Nino Arena, I believe, based off a real person. That's a really nice figure. And behind him is Paolo Arnesi. Very nice. And then my personal favorite of the Italians, Andrea. I'm blanking on his name, but I think it's Andrea. And that's a very, very unique and rare figure. Okay, so those are all the Germans down here, and then the Italians. And then before I move on to the left, let's take a look at the upper row here. So this is all new. I just got this figure a few months ago, maybe back in September. That's Jurgen, I believe. And he's really cool. I love that bicycle. And then another new one I got back in the spring. This is one of my favorite sets here. These motorcycle sets are absolutely incredible. I can't recommend these enough. If you can find them. They're very, very rare. This is Anton Gauss. Another cyber hobby. That motorcycle is so cool. I love the camouflage on that. Okay, and then over here I've got a Fallschirmjäger team setup. So this is from the 2-pack, Willie, Junge, and Joseph, I think. And they've got their mortar set up. I love Fallschirmjäger figures. These are some of my favorites. I just got him back in the spring, or early spring, I think. That's Gustav Bayer. He's got his FG42 set up. Okay, and then got Lucas Koch behind him. They're meant to go together. And then he is from a 2-pack. I'm blanking on his name right now. I think Johannes. But I've got him as the squad leader here. Okay, so those are all the Germans. I'm going to move over to this side now, and we'll take a look at the British and the Americans. All right, well, continuing on, we're going to take a look at my British, American, and Russian figures, and also a few German figures that are over on this side that I haven't showed you yet. So actually, we're going to go up here first. Here is Michael Adler, a very hard to find cyber hobby figure. I just picked him up this year. I love that medic drop canister he comes with. Incredibly unique. And also, just a quick correction here. I think I called this an FG42. I meant to say MG42. So just a quick correction there. Let's continue on. Take a look at my British figures. We've got Martin Hicks on his well bike and Peter Markham, a very rare cyber hobby. Okay, coming back down here, I'll just briefly go over my British figures. This really hasn't changed at all from last year. In fact, I do have a new British figure coming. His name is Fred Jones. He'll be here in a few days. But besides that, I have not picked up any new British figures. So for that reason, I'm just going to go over these very quickly. We've got Bill Kennedy there, Bob Richardson, and Norman White in the back. Daniel Blackburn, one of my favorites, and Peter J. Coates, and Charles Blackie Black in the back. That's a tongue twister. And then Charles Redding, a really cool Gear Plus British figure, the only Gear Plus British figure that was made. And then behind him is Wes Worthy, a sniper, and John Davies with the Lewis gun in the back. All right, Oscar McKinnon, as you know, one of my all-time favorites. And then Harry Collins behind him, a great Soldat figure. And another SAS in the back, that's Kenneth Laird. And then Terry Wolcott, a very hard to find exclusive figure, one of my favorites. Love that silenced Sten. And then behind him is Geordie Strong, and then the very rare flamethrower, Ned Burns. That's a really cool one. Okay, so that's all my British figures. And let's move into the Americans now. At least the European American figures that I have. So starting out over here, these three, this row here, this is all new. These are from Saving Private Ryan, the Cyber Hobby figures. I only have 3 that I picked up this year. They are pretty hard to find and pretty expensive usually. So this one is based off of Matt Damon's character. And these are really impressive. The detail is great on these. Okay, and behind him is Tom Sizemore's character. That head sculpt is very, very lifelike. Looks just like the actor. And then behind him is the sniper. That is also a great one. So I'm hoping to pick up more of those in the coming year, but like I said, they are pretty hard to get a hold of. All right, we've got Garrett White, my all-time favorite figure, as you know. And then behind him is Matt Barkley, another favorite. That's a great Gear Plus American figure. And then one of my newest figures, we've got Larry Reed. I do really like this figure, but if you watch that video, you know this figure needs a lot of help, but he is a cool one. Behind him is Magellan, based off of the real person. And then behind him is Danny McMillan, I think. That's a really cool one. All right, we got Tab. That's a classic one right there, one of my favorites. And Tom Greger behind him, and in the back, Deke D'Amato. These are all fantastic figures here. You know I love the US figures, especially European theater. All right, here's another excellent one. We got George Goldman, part of the 101st Screaming Eagles. And then Doc White behind him, and Stan Wiley, an MP 101st figure. All right, we got Dan Summers and Matt Clapton in the back there, that is actually my oldest figure right now that I still have. I picked him up like 5 years ago. He's not the first dragon figure I've ever gotten, but he's the oldest one that I still have. I've sold all the other ones prior. So, but I don't intend on ever selling that figure because I really, really love that one. Just a fun fact for you. All right, we've got Frank Jackson. This is an incredibly rare figure and really cool. I love this one. I actually just saw him for sale this past week and he sold for almost $200. That's how rare this one is. All right, behind him is Eddie Strong, and in the back is Steve Hartman. And then we've got Corey Walker. That's a favorite. Really like how he looks. And behind him is the medic, Doc Baker. And then Bobby Dalton in the back with his Tommy gun. I feel like that figure gets kind of forgotten about, at least for me. I always forget about him, but he is a really cool one. Very unique, especially that expression. All right, we've got Ben Harris on the far left here. I love that leather jacket. That figure does have some issues, but he does look really cool. And then the tanker. I am blanking on his name at the moment, but that is a really nice one. And then Brandon Chase in the back with his walkie-talkie. Okay. And then up here, this has stayed the same. I've got Jim Gordon still over here, and then Frank Laird in the plane door there. So that stayed the same. But I really like how those two look together up there. And then this has also stayed the same. Some of my model airplanes and my tank I still got on these shelves over here. And then I also have all of my Cyber Hobby boxes I've got stacked here, as well as the 2-packs. I've got those all stacked and some back there as well. And then the rest I've got all up here. All of the regular ones I've got stashed up here, and then also I've got the USA exclusive ones in there, and then some of the bigger boxes I got in another closet. Okay, well that's everything up there. Let's come down here now and take a look at the Russians, and then also I got Tim Coburn over here. This is a great Cyber Hobby that I picked up this year. Really, really cool. I love this whole setup. Is really awesome. It's kind of hard to get back there, but I am hoping to get the other one, Billy Hicks, and I'm gonna try to see if I can like put them together somehow. I think that would look really awesome. All right, here are my Russian figures. I actually picked up quite a few Russians this year, which is quite a feat because the Russians are always a pain to get a hold of, especially those Cyber Hobbies. So I'll just let you look at these. I always struggle to remember their names. But in the front, I've got 3 of the Cyber Hobby ones. I think those are the best ones in my opinion. They're so unique. I really love his sniper rifle. And then this one is one of my favorites. And Alexei, that's a favorite of mine, of course. This one I just picked up this year. He's super rare. Ila Romanovich, I do remember his name. And then the middle row, that has stayed pretty much the same, except for I got Cole Kozlov back there. I just got him this past year. And then in the very back, the only new figure there is the guy with the anti-tank weapon. Sorry, it's really dark back there, but I can't remember his name either, but he's a cool one. Okay, so those are the Russians, and then just really briefly here, I've got I've got my two horses down here. Tara's something, can't remember his name, but he's a really cool one. And then this guy I got this year, also a nice one. Although to be honest, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep him. I might actually sell him the next few weeks or so, just to make some room. He's not my favorite, but he is a cool one. Okay, and then lastly over here I've got Viggo Traber and Klaus Koenig. I just picked both of these up this past year, as you know. And once again, these motorcycle sets are absolutely stunning. I don't want to keep this down here. The only reason why it's down here is because I don't know where else to put it at the moment due to space issues. So for now it's down here, but that is a fantastic set. Alright guys, well that's everything over here. I'm going to briefly show you my Pacific figures, and that'll wrap things up. Okay, so here are my USMC figures, and I've added quite a bit to the collection this year. So let's start out on the right, and I've got a light over here to help me out because it's a little dark in this corner of the room. So over here is Tim Wright, and that's one of my new ones this year. And then Alan, that's a great one. Here's another new one, a Cyber Hobby. Okay, and Charles West, one of my all-time favorite figures right there. And then Josh Mason. And then in the back, a little hard to see, but we got that tanker back there. Mike Walker, I believe. Then behind him is Lieutenant Andy Carlson and Jake Hansen. And then two new ones on the left. That's Doc Brown. And then blanking on that guy's name. But they're new to the collection. So that's all of my USMC figures for now. And then I've also, just for a little bonus here, this is where I've been putting my IQO Japanese figures. I wanted to put them next to the USMC figures. So right now I've got 3. So just a quick look at these for you. I'm hoping to add many more of these in the coming new year. Okay, and then just really briefly, I do have a random dragon figure over here. This is Mike Connolly. I've got him on display over here since I thought he fit this better. And I do have my crew model figures, some of them, over here in case anyone is interested. Alright guys, well I think that wraps up everything for my 2022 Dragon figure update for you. I hope you enjoyed this tour. It's always a lot of fun doing this at the end of the year, reassessing everything. Here's one last look for you. Well, hopefully 2023 will be a good year in general, and also a good year for collecting for everybody. You know, if you're just getting into Dragon figures, I know it might seem a little daunting. The prices are very high right now, but I can't recommend collecting these figures enough. It's such really a joy to collect these. It's so much fun and very rewarding. So if you're thinking about doing it, now's the time to get started. Although I will warn you, it will hurt your wallet big time, but I think it's worth it. I think the figure I'm wanting the most this upcoming year is Franz Mel, a Fallschirmjäger motorcyclist, the last one that I need of the motorcycles. He's very rare, but I've been trying to get a hold of him for quite a while, so if you see him, let your boy Mathis know, and I will be eternally grateful to you. Alright guys, and you know, if you're new to the channel and you're wanting to see reviews of any individual figure, I've reviewed all of these figures already, so just search in the name on my channel and it'll pop up for you. Alright guys, well thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and I will see you in 2023. Bye.